Hi and welcome back to my channel. This is part 2 of my little Curious and Curiouser suitcase. So we're going to be working on the pages. So to begin with, you're going to need 4 sheets of cardstock. You're going to cut these down to 5 3/8 by 10 3/4. Then you're going to score on the 10 3/4 side at 5 1/8. And 5 1/4. So this is your 5 1/8 side, and this side is 5 1/2 from the score line. So then on the 5 1/8 side, you're going to clip your corners. Then you're going to fold on your score lines. So now you have a 1/8 inch little gap there in between your flaps. So then on the 5 1/2 side, you're going to cut at 3 3/4. So your little flaps looking like that. Then with the piece you cut off, you're going to cut at 1 7/8. That gives you 2 pieces. So then you're going to clip 2 of the bottom corners. And you want to glue these together. Like that. So that's going to create our little window. So then you want to take your bottom section and you want to measure in a 1/2 inch and mark that. And then you want to measure in a 1/2 inch on each side and mark those. Then you're going to need some score tape. And a couple magnets. And I put my magnets right on my mark. And then a little more score tape over top of that. So it's like that. Then you want to grab your book. You want to insert. And then this will go magnet side down. right down here. So next, from pattern paper, I cut a piece that was 1 5/8 by 5 1/4, and that will go right up here. Then you're going to cut another piece of pattern paper at 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. You're going to glue that onto your other section, making sure your magnets are on the back. Place mine towards the bottom. Grab a couple clips. Making sure it's even. And we're going to grab this piece of chipboard from the chipboard collection. We're going to place that about in the center. Then you just want to trace on where it shows the pattern paper through. So then you want to cut another 2 pieces of pattern paper, 1 3/4 by 5 1/4, and 1 5/8 by 5 1/4. So you're going to take your 1 5/8 piece, you're going to glue it on right up here on the inside. Then you're going to glue the other one right over your magnets. Like that. Then I have this little paper border that I'm going to glue right here, right above the score line. So next I'm going to use an X-Acto knife and cut out where I marked with pencil. So it's like that. Then I'm going to do the bottom part. So they both look like that. Then I'm going to grab my chipboard frame. So I have this scrap here. It's about 2/8 inches wide. And I just want to cover where the chipboard's going to show. You could also use sparkly washi tape. Then I'm going to add some score tape all around the opening. Then I have a piece of transparency that's 3 inches by 4 1/4. And I'm going to put that right on top of my score tape, like that. So then you want to grab your rub-on transfers. Pick whatever image you're going to use. I'm going to use the Mad Hatter. So next what you're going to do is line up where you cut it out and glue it right on. I put a little score tape over my transparency. Then add a little glue. Then you want to line up where you cut the indentation out. Making sure your magnets are on the back. Add a little more score tape to the top where the transparency is. Then you want to put glue. Then evenly place this on your other part of your page. That's the beginning of our first page. So now you want to take your book, slide your insert in, so now you want to grab 2 more magnets and your score tape. So I put my sticky side up and then I let my magnet stick to it. Then you want to stick them down. Oops. like that. Then you want to cut a piece of pattern paper that's 5 3/8 by 5 3/8. So my front page looks like that. So for this page, I think I'm going to remove the tag. So I have 2 more pieces of pattern paper that are 5 3/8 by 5 3/8. Center that, watching my score line. And then I'm going to glue my other piece of pattern paper right on top of that pocket. Right like that. So room for a large photo here. Photo here and a photo here. And then we have this flap, which I cut another piece of 5 3/8 by 5 3/8. This one was a little bit short, so I cut this trim to put over on this side. For the tag page, you're going to want to cut pattern paper at 3 1/8 by 5 1/4 and 2 1/8 by 5 1/4. I'm using the square tag die, and I'm cutting my pattern paper this way. So you want to glue your larger piece on this side of your pocket, not covering your pocket opening. Your other piece right on top of your pocket. Then glue your pattern paper right on top of your tag. Then your tag goes right back in your pocket. Then you can leave this blank or add embellishments. I plan on adding these stickers. Okay, for the next page, we're going to cut a piece that is 5 3/8 by 5 3/8. We're going to evenly glue that down. So for page 2, I have my bottom section of cardstock, and I already put the magnets on. I cut 2 pieces of 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to glue those on. So that'll be my bottom part. Then I cut 2 at 1 5/8 by 5 1/4. That one's going to go centered right on my top flap. This one will go on my inside. So take your frame, you want to decide where you're going to put it, and then trace it on. Then you want to cut those out. So I'm going to need this piece of ephemera from the ephemera pack, a piece of transparency. I cut mine to 2 5/8 by 3 1/4. And I just want to clip off my corners. And then I'll also be using the rub-on transfers. I'm going to use the butterfly. Add double-sided tape to the back of your chipboard frame. Add on my transparency. So then grab your rub-on transfer, center it how you want it. So then you're going to find a scrap. And I'm just going to put this along the sides where the chipboard will show. I'm just going to add a little bit more double-sided tape to the top and bottom. And then I'm going to add some glue. Evenly place it so it lines up with your cutout. So I forgot to glue on my other side. I happen to have another frame, so I'm going to line them up and trace this part on. Then I'm gonna just cut it out. I'm going to ink it. Then glue it on. So then I'm going to grab the bottom part, making sure my magnets are in the back or on the inside. I'm going to add some glue. Then line up my frame on the bottom. Then I'm going to grab this piece of ephemera, cut them in half. I'm going to put a little glue on the top and bottom. And put that right there. Then I'm going to flip it open. Put glue on the other little stamps. Centering them right on top of each other. So it looks like that. So I've already added my magnets. Then you want to cut a piece of 5 3/8 by 5 3/8. Glue that down right over your magnets. So then we're going to move to the inside. And I cut 2 pieces that are 5 3/8 by 5 3/8. We're going to remove the tag. I cut this from the black and white image paper. Then you just want to grab 2 of your scraps. So I'm going to take my first 5 3/8 by 5 3/8 piece and this scrap. And I'm just going to tear the top. Maybe down a little more here. I think about like that. And I'm going to ink where I tore it at with some vintage photo. just kind of rolling the edges a little. So then I'm going to take my scrap and I'm going to put glue along this edge and the bottom. Then I want to line it up with my pattern paper. So it looks like that. Then I'm going to put glue on the back and glue that right down over that pocket opening. So now for the bottom one, I'm going to be using this piece of scrap. And I know I want to rip it at least as tall as she is. Then I'm going to ink that. So then I'm going to grab my scrap and I'm only going to put glue on this side and the top. So then I'm going to put glue on the back and center that on my page. So then I'm going to put a little glue on the back of my queen. And she's going to be down here in this corner. So I have this journaling card from the paper collection, and where I did not glue my little torn spot down all the way, I made a little tuck spot. And I have this from the ephemera collection. It's just gonna tuck right in up here. So now for the tag page, I cut one piece at 3 1/8 by 5 1/4. I'm going to glue it on this side, centering it but not covering my pocket. This piece is 2 1/8 by 5 1/4, and it's going to go right on top of my pocket. I decided on all my tags I'm going to put the heart paper. So then for this side, I cut a 5 3/8 by 5 3/8. So I already glued a 5 3/8 by 5 3/8 piece of pattern paper on this side. And I finished all the inside flaps on the next 2 pages, but I was going to show you guys how to finish the windows on the last 2 pages. So we have our flap, and I cut 2 pieces, 1 5/8 by 5 1/4. So you want to center that on your top flap. The other one right on your inside. And then I cut 2 more pieces that are 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. Center it at the bottom. And I'm going to be using this frame. Trace it on. So then I put double-sided tape on the back of my frame. And I have a piece of transparency that fits right on. And I decided I'm going to use the little rabbit transfer. So it's like that. Now I'm going to cut out where I traced. So then I added more double-sided tape on top of my transparency on the back. And then I have these 2 scraps that I'm just going to put along the side that'll show. Like that. Then I'm going to add some glue, and a little glue here. Center my frame on. Then I'm going to grab my bottom frame. Making sure my magnets are in the back. So then I'm going to add my magnets. Remove your backing from your score tape. So then add your 5 3/8 by 5 3/8 right over your magnet. So we have that flap done. And then I did finish the inside. I added some of the red paper and tore it and added an image from the black and white paper. Then my tag page and this page. And I covered this page, and we're ready for the last page. So for your last page, the measurements are the same. 2 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. Add your magnets. Add your pattern paper right over the magnets. Same with these. Add them to the top of your flap. So evenly clip on your bottom piece, making sure the magnets are in the back. And then grab the frame you chose. I chose this chipboard frame. Trace on where your pattern paper shows. Trim those out. So then add transparency to your frame and your rub-on transfer. I added my double-sided tape, and I have these 2 scraps I'm just going to put along the sides that'll show. So add some glue. Add your frame right, matching up to where you cut out at. Then do your bottom, making sure your magnets are to the back. Evenly place that. So now we're going to add our magnets. Then add your pattern paper right on top of your magnets. And I already finished the inside. My tag page. And on my back flap, I put a waterfall. I made a tuck spot under this image. Some of the rub-on transfers. So then I just want to flip back to the beginning. And on the first page, I want to add these little guys. So I'm just going to put a little glue on their feet. I'm going to place them right down here in the corner. That way you can still tuck a photo underneath it. We already added the stamps to this page. And I'm just going to tuck in a photo mat I made, or a journaling spot. Now for this page, I have a journaling card. I'm just going to slide it in there. This is from the ephemera collection. And I'm just going to add her right over my pocket. For this page, I have another journaling card from the paper collection. Tuck that right in the pocket. Then I'm going to add these stamps to this page. I have these little gem hearts, and I'm just going to Put one right on the ribbon transfer. Another journaling card from the paper collection. This little Alice is from the ephemera assortment. I'm going to put her right on this pocket. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial for this little suitcase mini. Thank you for watching.